When you think of Japan, you imagine order, discipline, and cutting-edge technology, right? But what if I told you that behind the shining skyscrapers of Tokyo, thousands of office workers collapse on sidewalks every night? Not from overwork, but from something far darker? This is the hidden truth about Japan's drinking culture that no one dares to talk about. When people think of Japan, images that come to mind are usually of discipline, technology, and breathtaking traditions. A country where trains arrive to the second, where politeness is ingrained in every bow, and where innovation meets ancient culture. But there's another Japan, hidden behind neon lights, quiet alleyways, and the polished glass towers of Tokyo. Every night, thousands of men in suits, known as salarymen, stumble out of bars, collapse on sidewalks, or fall asleep at train stations. This is not the Japan of order and precision. It's the Japan of exhaustion, alcohol, and silent suffering. The question is, how did one of the hardest working nations in the world find itself in a cycle where drinking to collapse is almost expected? Nomikai, the ritual of drinking. The answer begins with a word deeply woven into Japanese corporate life. Nomikai. Nomu means to drink, and kai means gathering. Together, Nomikai refers to after-work drinking parties. On the surface, these seem harmless. Co-workers bonding over drinks, laughter, and food. But in reality, Nomikai is more than socializing. It is a ritual, a near-obligatory event where refusing to drink can be seen as disrespectful, uncooperative, even career-limiting. If you are new to a company, you drink. If you want to fit in with colleagues, you drink. If you hope to climb the corporate ladder, you drink even more. For many, Nomikai is not a choice. It's a duty. Rules written in tradition. Nomikai is not a chaotic, free-for-all party. It follows strict, unspoken rules. Seating matters. The highest-ranking member sits farthest from the door, a place of honor and protection. The newest recruits sit closest to the entrance, signaling their low rank and readiness to serve. No one drinks alone. Everyone must wait until glasses are filled. The boss usually gives a short greeting before the collective toast. Kanpai. Refilling is a ritual. Juniors constantly watch seniors' glasses, ensuring they never empty. Letting your boss pour their own drink is considered disrespectful. Politeness masks pressure. When someone tries to refuse, seniors often insist gently, but firmly until the glass is raised again. These small rituals transform drinking into a ceremony of hierarchy, loyalty, and group harmony. The pressure to drink. This is where the darkness begins. In Japanese society, avoiding confrontation and keeping harmony, is paramount. Saying no is uncomfortable, almost taboo. So when a superior pours you a drink, refusing outright feels impossible. Even if you dislike alcohol, even if your health suffers, even if your family waits at home. Instead, employees invent subtle ways to avoid drinking too much, holding the glass high and saying, "That's enough," hoping the senior will stop pouring, taking tiny sips and pretending the glass is fuller than it is, sneaking water into the alcohol glass to dilute it. But these strategies rarely work for long. Sooner or later, the bottle tilts again, and the cycle repeats. From bonding to burden. Originally, Nomikai served a purpose. Japanese workplaces are famously formal and hierarchical. The drinking table allowed barriers to break down. For one night, the boss and the intern were equals, laughing and singing karaoke together. This was even given a name, nominication, a mix of nomi, drink, and communication. But over time, what began as bonding turned into burden. When Nomikai happens several times a week, year after year, the toll is heavy. Health risks, liver disease, heart problems, alcoholism, mental stress, pressure to conform, guilt from neglecting family, family strain. Many spouses and children barely see their fathers awake. And the streets of Tokyo tell the story. Passed-out salarymen lying on benches or sidewalks at midnight are such a common sight that locals barely notice anymore. It has become an unspoken symbol of Japan's work culture. Successful on the outside, broken on the inside. A history of alcohol in Japan. To understand why this persists, we must look deeper into Japanese history. Alcohol in Japan is not just a drink, it's spiritual. For centuries, sake was used in Shinto rituals as an offering to the gods. Drinking was seen as a way to connect with the divine, to bond communities, and to celebrate life's milestones. In the 19th century, with industrialization, alcohol production exploded. Sake, beer, and whiskey became affordable and widespread. Drinking moved from temples and festivals into everyday life. And as Japan's corporate culture grew in the 20th century, alcohol naturally became part of it. Thus, Nomikai is not just about beer after work. It's tied to centuries of tradition, spirituality, and social expectation. Why don't they say no? To outsiders, the solution seems simple. Just refuse. But in Japan, individuality often takes a backseat to group harmony. Saying no risks isolation. Refuse too many times, and colleagues may view you as unfriendly or not a team player. Career impact. Promotions often depend not just on skill, but on relationships built outside the office at bars and izakayas. Cultural silence. Discussing personal struggles openly is difficult in Japan. Alcohol provides a rare space to release emotions, making it harder to give up. The result? People drink even when they don't want to. Signs of change. But not everything is bleak. In recent years, cracks have begun to form in this rigid tradition. In 2019, Japan passed laws against power harassment, abuse of authority in the workplace. For the first time, forcing employees to attend after-work drinking could be considered harassment. Companies began reducing mandatory nomikai, offering alternatives like lunch gatherings, or allowing employees to opt out without punishment. Younger generations, more health-conscious and global-minded, are also questioning the culture. Surveys show many young workers prefer to spend evenings with family, hobbies, or simply resting, rather than drinking with colleagues. Alcohol-free bars and low-alcohol drinks are becoming trendy in Tokyo. What was once unthinkable, declining nomikai, is slowly becoming acceptable. The comparison to other cultures. Japan is not alone. In many countries, alcohol is tied to business. In Vietnam, Korea, and even parts of Europe, deals are sealed over drinks and refusing can feel awkward. But Japan's nomikai is unique for its rigid rules and near-ritualistic importance. In Vietnam, drinking may be heavy, but friendship often softens the pressure. In Japan, the weight of hierarchy makes refusal much more difficult. The human cost. Still, the cost has been immense. Behind Japan's polished corporate success are human stories of broken health, strained families, and silent suffering. The image of the passed-out salaryman is not just a stereotype, it's a warning. A reminder that beneath economic power lies a culture struggling to balance tradition, work, and personal well-being. A nation at a crossroads. Japan stands at a crossroads. On one side is a deeply rooted tradition, tied to history, spirituality, and corporate loyalty. On the other side is a new generation seeking balance, individuality, and health. Nomikai may never disappear completely. It still offers connection in a society where expressing emotions is difficult. But perhaps in time it will evolve less as an obligation, more as a choice. Because no nation, no matter how disciplined or innovative, can thrive when its workers collapse not just on sidewalks, but under the invisible weight of expectation.